What's happening, APLers? Here for the week 3 preview. Had some fun stuff tonight and some unexpected results this week. So we'll get to it. First matchup on the slate here is the two 0-2 guys, Solomon versus Greg. So I guess I can stop trashing Solomon's running backs because they did some stuff this week. So Chuba is the main story here. Solomon puts up 1,041. Gets a 253-point win over Greg, put up 788. Some highlights here. Derek Carr gets the start for Solomon, and the Eagles-Saints game that was supposed to be fun turns out to not be fun. They just played a ton of defense and scored 27 points total. They had 3 points through most of the third quarter. I don't remember what somebody scored, but doesn't really get a great game out of Derek Carr, but survives anyway. He's got 366 on the bench from Rodgers, probably the right place for Rodgers based on what he had done before. But the running backs are the story here for Solomon. Chuba is ignited by Andy Dalton at quarterback instead of Bryce Young, and the Panthers look like a totally different team and just crush the Raiders. Chuba goes for 194. He's over 20 carries, 114 yards, caught 5 passes for 55 yards, had a touchdown. Just an all-around awesome day for Chuba. Devin Singletary kind of gets the same deal. He's the every down back for the Giants. 122 points. He's got 65 rushing, 43 in the air, 3 catches, scores a touchdown. Really good games. My numbers are incorrect here for the point totals at wide receiver, but JJ does his thing. I was going to say he hasn't gone nuts. He did last week with his 97-yard touchdown, but 118 from Jefferson against Houston in a game where they really didn't need to pass too much, but solid effort. The 107 points for Garrett Wilson is incorrect. It's 58 for Wilson. Talked about him already. Disappointing Thursday night performance, but Diggs was the outlet for CJ Stroud against the Vikings. He caught a ton of passes. 10 catches, 94 yards, had a rushing attempt too. So nice game for Diggs. Kelsey, still hoping for more from Kelsey. Only 64 points this week. I'm saying that they're calling plays for him. They're just all covered because everybody's taking him away. Doesn't seem to matter. The Chiefs are still winning, so maybe they want to start trying something different. But hoping for more from Kelsey. Butker, big, 123 points at kicker. Defense is fine. Tony Adams probably will find his way off the team. Derwin James got suspended. He's appealing. But 1,041 for Solomon. As I said, led by the running backs. Wide receivers pretty solid too. Overcomes the 169 at quarterback. Pretty much nothing went right for Greg. Greg picked up Cousins at the last minute, started him against the tough Chiefs defense instead of rolling with Purdy against the porous Rams defense. 405 for Purdy on the bench, 259 for Cousins. That doesn't end up making a difference in the outcome here because of Shaheed and Andrews getting zeros. So kind of wild that Shaheed gets a 0 in a game that's supposed to be a shootout, and probably even wilder that Mark Andrews has a 0. I think I read today they ran 4 routes total. And Harbaugh just said, we're running the ball really well, and we're running a big package, and Andrews isn't in the big package, and that's really what we'd like to do, so no big deal. Could be problematic for the second-round pick long-term. Maybe even, it's not worse news, but it's also not good news. Isaiah Likely had 1 catch for 4 yards for 9 points total, so tight end looks like an unmitigated disaster for Greg at this point. Maybe Andrews can do something, but that definitely doesn't seem to be the focal point for the Ravens offense like it had been in the past. Connor gets shut down by the Lions, tough run defense, and Jonathan Taylor goes nuts against the Bears. He's fun. Looked really good. Had a really nice touchdown run, a little cutback from some distance. Brendan Ayuk was not the guy. He was supposed to be the guy. He was not the guy. It was Jordan Jennings this week. So Ayuk dropped a bunch of passes and just kind of looks like he is the guy that didn't go through training camp and held out for a long time. So I'm sure it'll be there, just not there yet. Shakir I didn't see much of the game Monday, but looked involved. 98 points, solid. Greg will be moving on from Greg Zerline. I got an angry text about his performance on Thursday night, so we'll probably find a new kicker. IDPs look great, so that is a strong point. So Solomon moves to 1-2. Greg 0-3, and frustration mounting for Greg, and is this the start of something for Solomon? All right, next matchup here is the Super Team versus Tank. So going into this week, Super Team had really good matchups. Tank didn't have good matchups, and that's just kind of how it actually ended up playing out. So the Super Team gets a nice effort from Burrow tonight. Gibbs with 123. It's the same as last year. He's good. He's involved. Trying to figure out here how he got 123. It's not showing his receiving yards. So the rest of the route lineup for the Super Team is just solid. So you get 90 out of Mason, 90 out of Collins, 86 out of Devonta, 85 out of Bowers, 92 out of the kicker spot. Just no real dud games. Big number from Burrow and above average from Gibbs and Olave. Puts up 1181. That's a tough total to beat each week. So been giving the Super Team a lot of shit, and deservedly so. It won't stop. That's kind of like the plan for the whole year, is give them a lot of shit. I think that might be everybody's plan. But after a loss in week 1, things seem to be clicking a little better here for the Super Team. It does probably lose Devonta for at least a week. He got a nasty hit on a pass across the middle. The lineman ran back and hit him, and it was bad. So he's probably going to be out for a little bit. Pitts had like one long catch, and that was it. So Bowers is down a little bit this week. The whole Raiders offense was kind of a mess, but he gets Higgins back, so Higgins can take the Devonta spot, and plenty of depth there. But just a solid performance from the Super Team. On Tank's side, if Tank could start like all of his running backs, things would be so much better. We're struggling to find something at quarterback with Tua out for the foreseeable future. Darnold gets plugged in. He looks good for the Vikings, but still only 181 passing yards. He gets up to 278 because he threw 4 touchdowns. Looks good, just hasn't had to pass because the Vikings have been crushing. So maybe that changes this week and get Green Bay, but 278 is fine. You're just hoping for about 100 more from the quarterback spot. Tank scores 261 at running back with his 2 starters and ended up starting the wrong 2 guys. But still won't make a difference in the matchup. But running back is really strong and got a great performance from Charbonnet against the Dolphins. The Seahawks were in control that whole game, and Charbonnet looked good. 90 on the ground, 2 touchdowns in that as well. So again, didn't see much of the Bills and Jags tonight. James Cook looks like he's just steady doing his thing this year. He's involved both on the ground and through the air and scoring touchdowns, where he did score too many last year, but he's definitely finding the end zone this year. Tank has Aaron Jones, puts up 173 on his bench, and also has Kyron, who scores 3 touchdowns and is like the whole engine of the Rams offense. It's 49ers and scores 178. So really nice games from those guys as well. Wide receiver is a different story. CeeDee Lamb not doing his thing like he did last year. Watched a lot of the Dallas game. They made a big deal. Brady was making a big deal on the broadcast about CeeDee's body language and just not looking interested, and maybe they're just not clicking because of the holdout and all that stuff. But definitely not automatic guy that he was last year so far. He also wasn't the automatic guy right away last year, so maybe that's still coming. But 61 for CD. He had a fumble in there that took the 10 points away to knock him down there. I think maybe just they're keying on him and take him out of the game. He's got to work harder. Zay didn't need to be involved because the Ravens were ahead the majority of the game, so he gets shut down a little bit. And then Jaden Reed, 73 with Malik Willis throwing you the ball is probably pretty decent. Kincaid gets a touchdown, 3 catches, 41 yards. Again, didn't see that one to see how involved he was, but 105 is Kincaid's best total of the year so far. So hopeful that that continues. Jake Moody, maybe a 1 week wonder so far, only 31 points this week after down week last week, and IDPs are fine. So looking forward, just wonder if Tank's looking to deal some of that running back depth for quarterback that can have a little more upside there. So maybe there's a Tank Jake deal coming up here in the future. So super team moves to 2-1, Tank falls to 1-2. Next matchup, I believe, is me versus Sade. So I got Jawan Jennings this week. Great pickup by Sade, and he comes through in the clutch. So rundown of today's team here. It's really all about Derrick Henry, who it's science. I hate Derrick Henry mostly because he's good. I just don't think he's good. It doesn't make any sense. I just don't really like him. And he also has huge games every time I play against him. So 215 for Derrick Henry seems about right. Thought it would be more. But today comes down to Derrick Henry, Jawan Jennings, and Blake Neighbors. So Jennings, waiver wire pickup, he has 11 catches, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did what people were expecting Ayuk to do, or maybe even like 100 yards and a touchdown for Ayuk would have been expected, but just a ridiculous game from Jawan Jennings. Can't say enough about how great pickup and great start. Malik Neighbors is so fun to watch. He had ridiculous catch, like spun around like 180 degrees in the end zone, got both feet down for his first touchdown, and then got another touchdown where he was wide open out there. So that guy's is a fun one. So those are the 3 guys that carry today's squad here. Brian Thomas does a little bit tonight. Bijan, not a lot against the tough Chiefs defense. And Sade never texted in today and just said Bijan's not that much fun. He's a ton of the offense, but it's 5-6 yard gains here and there. It's not any big chunk plays or anything super fun to watch. But maybe that changes. And then CJ Stroud just got stymied by the Vikings defense, as everybody has so far this year. So I still have high hopes for Stroud. I think he'll be fine. Laporta got banged up in this one. He was blocking on that fun lateral touchdown that Gibbs had, and ankle got wrecked up a little bit. Haven't seen official word, but he might be out for a little bit. But kind of a blah season for Laporta so far. Now it's an injury, but when you get the Henry and Jawan Jennings games, doesn't matter. The other thing that doesn't matter is my team was pretty horseshit. Dak, huge number for Dak, 474. He got most of that in the back half of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. They didn't do much at the beginning of the game, but it doesn't matter. Still 474 is great. Marvin Harrison that's wrong too. Jeez, I gotta get my shit together. That's the Rashee Rice number. That's 143, not Marvin Harrison. Rice is just fun. Lots of catches and seems to be the focal point of the Chiefs offense right now. So super fun. Other than that, my team just didn't show up. So Achan kind of gets there's no opportunity because Skylar Thompson is just fucking bad at football. It's just kind of unbelievable to me that the Dolphins have him as their backup quarterback when they know that their starting quarterback is a little more fragile than others. The dude could do nothing at all, which also impacts Waddle and Tyreek, but man, just the Dolphins offense looked really bad. So no room for Achan. Tony Pollard did nothing. Tajay Spears got sprung it loose on some of his catches, but just nothing at all for Pollard. Harrison was good. It's frustrating to watch Kyler play quarterback. He just like chucks it, and there's like just doesn't like read a defense at all. It just, if there's pressure, he just throws the ball or runs and tries to find some stuff. But anyway, Jameson Williams not an automatic start anymore. Just not part of the offense this week, and turns out the Lions just really want to run the ball like 40 times a game if they can to win. McBride is pretty quiet. also got hurt, a big hit from Brian Branch on a catch over the middle, short catch. He got hit in the head, so he's in the concussion protocol. And that's a pretty quiet week. Fairbairn missed a 54-yarder, and I guess that's fine. He's been good so far. IDPs are okay, other than David Long, who won't be on the roster after tomorrow night. So pretty bad week for me. That's what I'll need to say. So today moves to 2-1. I moved to 1-2, and then we look at Corey versus Jake. So it was tough to find somebody to put here for Corey because nobody scored a lot of points in this one. Lamar goes for 321 against the Cowboys. He kind of didn't need to try for most of the game because they were ahead by like a lot, so they weren't really doing too much there. Hurts on the bench at 345. Hurts has been solid. Lamar's been solid. Both guys are really good. Kamara was the whole offense for the Saints. They ran the ball a ton. He had 26 carries and had 3 catches as well. So 29 touches for him in this game against the Eagles. He looks really good. Looks like vintage Kamara. So nothing bad to say. The rest of Jake's squad was not good. Javonte Williams was pretty bad. The other guys were better. The running backs, I think McLaughlin and I don't know how to say the guy's name, like Tyler Beatty or Batty or something. He had like 70 yards. So Jake's probably looking for some type of magic there for a second running back with Pacheco out. Devontae Adams back to being not great because the Raiders offense was not great. Tyreek was not great because Skylar Thompson is not an NFL quarterback. And then speaking of not an NFL quarterback, man, watched a fair amount of that Packers and Titans game. And Will Levis is not it either. Man, that dude just is a turnover machine and gets sacked because he's really bad at his job. So 10 points for Calvin Ridley after a big game last week. So Hunter Henry talked about kicker's fine. IDPs are really good. So 816 is the number that Jake put up, and that almost got a win this week because Corey's lineup wasn't much more impressive. So Mahomes goes for 290, and then he gets just enough from the rest of the guys here. So Jacobs did less than he thought he would do against the Titans with Malik Willis running the offense. He would have thought Jacobs would have gone nuts, but he didn't. Carson Steele, $100 pickup, gets you 75 points for second running back. Pretty solid. They look pretty good. Definitely involved. And looks like that should be a good bet for Corey there. Mooney, again, solid with 74 points. DJ Moore gets 80 as the Bears offense actually throws for a bunch of yards. Eric Saubert gets 84. He had 2 catches for 41 yards there. I apologize for questioning Cole Kmet. I don't know if that influenced Corey to switch his starter or not, but Cole Kmet went for 224. 10 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. And that Bears offense that actually was able to move the ball against the Colts because everybody moves the ball against the Colts. But the story here is we get 2 field goals from McPherson and Frankie Luvu, I think that's how you say his name, gets his 25 points tonight to push Corey over the top to get the win. So Corey gets to 831 and wins by 15. So nice win for Corey, and both those guys are 2-1. In the most exciting matchup of the week is Ryan and Daggy. So Ryan gets everything going tonight to get the win. So Josh Allen comes up huge first half. I think I read somewhere in our text group like 374 points in the first half. He ends up 410. Just a huge night that Ryan was hoping for. Jamar Chase also just abuses the Commanders secondary like everybody has. 2 touchdowns, a couple longish ones for 164. And ETN does enough with 89 points tonight on the ground to propel Ryan to improbable, maybe, or definitely against the odds win here. The other story for Ryan is Jake Ferguson. He comes back and looks really good. He catches a ton of passes. 196 points is a really good total. He was definitely the outlet for Dak throughout the game. there. So ends up with 6 catches for 95 yards to get the 196s. Uh, he was the safety valve. Looked really good. Rashad White, there might be some concern there. It just looks like Bucky Irving is more effective with his touches, but White is really good with pass protection on third down. So he's catching lots of passes, but we'll see how long the rushing production lasts. JSN, I was going to say held in check, but really Seattle didn't need to throw the ball a ton because they were ahead the whole game. So it wasn't really a need to. Good news for Ryan is with Dalton back, or Dalton leading the Panthers offense, Deontay Johnson is alive again. He had 8 catches for 122 yards and a touchdown. So 150 points for Deontay is probably the guy there at wide receiver, and that makes a Chase Godwin Deontay trio look pretty solid there for Ryan going forward. So on the Daggy side of the ball, it's a solid week. You get 283 from Kyler is probably the letdown, and maybe that's the spot that holds Daggy back from being a dominant team here, because Saquon looks like he should have been picked way higher. He's just dominant behind that offensive line. Has had huge runs every week. 65-yard touchdown run this week as well. Brees had 107. Some concern there that Braylon Allen has taken away too much of the work, but maybe that keeps Brees healthy for the whole year and that. But 107 is good. Evans got shut down by the Patrick Surtain a little bit. Overall, the Bucs offense just got shut down by the Broncos. And then the receivers were good. DK had a long touchdown again this week, 71-yard touchdown. Amon-Ra did his thing, 7 for 75, got a touchdown too, kind of what you're hoping for. Aubrey, good. I put in 121 because I don't know why they're not counting that 65-yard field goal, but it's good there. Probably need Evan Ingram to be back at tight end. Schultz is definitely an afterthought in the offense, not getting the ball enough. So narrow loss here. Diggy loses by 60, and the only down spots here really are Kyler didn't go nuts, and Evans with a rough game, and you're hoping for some more at tight end. But good win by Ryan. The big guys come out and do big things and move them up to 2-1. So both these guys are 2-1. We'll look through the high scores for the week. What's happening right now? There we go. All right, weekly top scorers. So Dak with 474, Henry with 215, Juwan Jennings with 246, and Ferguson with 196 are the top point getters. The worst point scorers: Derek Carr with 169, James Conner 26, Shaheed with 0, Mark Andrews 0. So sorry, Greg, it's rough to have 3 of the 4. Weekly awards. I forgot to mention that when I went through mine. So I had Dallas Goedert on the bench, and he scored. Is it 350 or 370? 350 on the bench at tight end. Kind of a bummer. So MVP, I'll go with Josh Allen. Came through in the clutch tonight. Maybe if you look back at the week as a whole, it should be Juwan Jennings first today, but you get 410 in the clutch from Josh Allen. It feels like a big win. Router of the week, I'll go with Mark Andrews. 0 points from Andrews is just not what you're hoping for at all. The no shit award, I'll go with Juwan Jennings just today. I don't think that one didn't make sense to me. It's just the 246 points from your waiver wire pickup is unexpected. Really, really good week. The wouldn't have done that. The Greg swap of Purdy for Kirk Cousins. I wouldn't have done that. Cousins just had a tough matchup against the Chiefs, and Purdy didn't. So makes more sense. The should have started. I'll go there for the second week in a row. Goddard with 350 over McBride with 53. 350 is quite the game from a tight end. And I just don't see a scenario where I would have started Goddard over McBride. So whatever. Diggy comes out with the 4th highest point total for the week and gets the loss. So he gets the would have been good at Shamrock Award. I don't have the obviously. I skipped a slide here because I had that one blocked. But anyway, a few injuries this week. Obviously don't have the transactions because those will go through tomorrow, but I believe the uh, injuries would be. I'm going to show because I liked it out, but Ross loses Devonta due to the concussion. Corey loses Austin Eckler for a concussion. Red Najee Harris was in a sling leaving the game. Tank Dell wrecked his wrist towards the end of the game. He's supposed to be okay. And then McBride has a concussion too. I'm missing somebody else, but fewer injuries this week than has been the last few weeks, but still those IRs are full. So looking at the standings here in my division, got three guys at 2-1 in points as the tiebreaker there right now. So Daggy and the super team and Corey, all 2-1. Daggy's got the nice 2-0 division record, which will help, and has the lead in points right now. The super team not far behind, just under 100 points behind. I'm at 1-2. Greg's at 0-3. And we're hoping to get back in the race. Over in Jake's division, also a trio of teams at 2-1. You have today Ryan and Jake, all 2-1. The points there are determining that order. And then fucking Tank and Solomon both 1-2. Only a game back. So matchups here for week 4. I get to take on the super team and Daggy and Corey. So we'll get a 3-1 team in our division for sure. Probably 2 of them, but we get one of them for sure. And then over in the other division, Jake and Ryan. Again, get another 3-1 team. That should be a good matchup there. And then Solomon and Tank. Somebody gets to 2-2 and somebody goes 1-3 there. And then Sade versus Greg is the matchup between the two divisions. So fun week this week. It was fun having something to cheer for on Monday night. We get 2 Monday night games again this week or this upcoming week. I think can't remember the ads completely, but I think it was Seattle and the Lions was one game, and then the Titans and the Dolphins was another. So we'll definitely have plenty of guys going in those 2 games. So hopefully we'll have some more drama on Monday night. That's so let's say next week I'm planning on doing a kind of a 28.5% way through the regular season check-in to see what some power rankings are looking like, what the roster strength is looking like, and what kind of start we're off to, and then a little preview of the next few weeks of who plays who and what the storylines can be. So that's all I got now for now. Talk to you guys later.